Hello and welcome to Nitro Talk. Welcome back to part 2 on the HPI Savage here. No, hold on a second. I was supposed to get the mount first, but can I? Yes. I got my Hyper PBS chassis here handy. I'm going to grab that pipe mount right there. If you're into nitro engines, vehicles, Savages, T-Maxes, anything, thank you very much for your support. I appreciate it. So, when last we were looking at the Savage here, we know that we need to install a brake disc on this thing. And I thought maybe I could do a little bit of research and find an easy way to get at the driveline. But didn't really find much. But I was thinking about it, and as far as I remember, I've worked on plenty of Savages. Probably the easiest way is just going to be to pull off one side, one of these vertical chassis plates, and then basically just bend it open a little bit to get the dog bone out. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to fix that brake issue and then brake. Oh, that ain't it. Where's my bag? There's my bag. Oh, there's my parts. Brake disc and plastic piece that goes in it. So we're going to repair that. We're going to install a pipe hanger and properly hang the SACE side pipe. And was there anything else? Well, let's go ahead and get to that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start taking off this chassis side plate so that we can get at that drivetrain. How y'all doing today? Hope everyone is doing great out there. Whoa, I tell you, this thing has got some dirt on it. I'm going to grab a couple of paper towels, and I was actually thinking about grabbing my drill as well so that we can make a little quicker work of this. And yeah, some of these screws are covered completely. This is a commercial for running an exhaust deflector right here. Got a lot of gunk. I'm going to have to clean this out a bit to even get a screwdriver in it well. Oh man, it's still mushy. Is there even a screw in there? I've got a wire brush here. Let me see what's going on with this. It's got a small screw in there, and it's still packed. Let me try to pick it out. And then I will need, let me try real quick and see how that feels. All right. I'm going to remove this handle first. We're going to have to remove it from both sides. Haven't worked on a Savage in a while, a couple years. I have been totally focused on my 8th scale off-road buggies and running them at the off-road course. But I have done plenty of wrenching on Savages, so it'll come back to me. I think I've got at least one, maybe two different upgrade handles. I know I got one a different color, and then I got one that's kind of wires with a rubber piece at the top. Alright, so that's our screws for our handle. Go back over here. I'm going to take this plate off over here because there's more going on that side. Alright, I'm going to need to take that wheel off. So let me go ahead and do that. Am I still in view there yet? Y'all really? Yeah, I should at least keep it over there to where y'all can see what I'm doing. Hope y'all got to see the unscrewing of the arm handle really well. Alright, we've got this one back here. I'm pretty sure the easiest thing is just to remove this shock to get at it. Again, this screw is filled. Where's that? That wire brush works good for this. Gotta get some good access to those threads so you don't strip these out. Gotta get a good bite in there. Alright, so this is a 3mm up here. Grab my 3mm MIP. Now, do I completely need to remove it, or do I leave it connected on one end? Probably just be easier to get it all right out of the way. Alright, there's that one. Gonna need to do, and it looks like somebody put a couple washers behind this. I don't remember doing that. And, oh, okay. So how about while I'm tearing this apart? Oh, that's one that is in there really good. Oh yeah, in there really good. To get at it with some real leverage. Oh yeah. There we go. All right, so I have had a lot of Savages in my day. Now, I have discussed before how I used to, many years ago, be a lot more buy, sell, trade, and repair. I did tunes and repairs locally. And T-Maxes and Savages both were hot sellers. I would get a Savage in, a nice one, and it would sell almost immediately. So I've had a ton of sweet Savages come through my hands. And that's where I've talked about how a lot of the engines that I've ran, were in those Savages. All the Kalari engines. Of course, the axials, all your big 30, 32 engines that were popular to put in Savages back in the day. I've ran all of them, essentially. Sure, there's some I haven't. Looks like we got one more screw here, and it's a little dirty. Clean it up. This is in the transmission. And were we missing a screw up there? I don't think we ever got the one behind that shock. So that one was missing. All right. Oh, one more. And it's dirty as well. Do a little clean out. I watch all these videos back before I upload them, and I see myself when I sneak into the picture sometimes. I'm like, peekaboo, there I am. All right, is that all of them? That looks like that is all of them. So this plate now should pop right off. All right. So at that point, see how this chassis will kind of bend now? And you know what? That's a good way to get the front one out, but we're still pretty locked up in the rear here. I can certainly get to that. Well, I'll tell you what, that doesn't look good. Looky there. You see that drive cup coming out of that rear diff? That thing has got a divot in it. You see that? Not the best look for that thing. That could certainly use a replacing. All right, so this ain't... Where do I got to basically unhook the tranny, pretty much undo the whole thing, so that the other side will bend and open up enough for me to slide this apart. I mean, that's pretty much it. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess just the transmission. Or is that connected? All right, I'm just going to start undoing the transmission. If I'm wasting steps, then oh well, so be it. There's a lot of missing screws on this thing. So I am going to, when I put it together, I'm going to try to fill up every screw hole. All right, so that should be the tranny from the plate. Now if I undo it from the rear section, which it is being held to via these two screws. All right, so those are out, meaning that the transmission should be totally free. All right, I'm not going to try to get it out of there. I'm going to leave the tranny in place and just take off what I need to here. If it'll let me. All right, barely. And I'll try to keep that together. All right, so there is that piece. Let me take a look where my replacement parts stuff always walks off on me. All right, here we go. So looks like there is a metal piece inside of there. Is that connected to that at all? That should come out of there. No, looking at the damage on it, I don't think that is it was the brake disc that went. It wasn't that plastic piece. I think that amount of wear that's on it actually probably will help it slide a little better on there. So I don't see a problem in reinstalling, is what I'm saying, this plastic piece right here. I was kind of worried about that. It has some wear. You can see the wear. But feeling how tight that, I think that's essentially a newish brake disc. Seeing how tight that fits, I don't think that wear is something we're going to be worrying about anytime soon. Because this still fits very snugly. All right, I'm repeating myself. Our dog bone doesn't look bad. That rear drive cup looks horrible. How does that look? That one doesn't. It's kind of hard to see from inside its little thing, but it ain't coming out easily, and I don't feel like trying to beat it out of there. So, all right, we essentially just got to put this back together with the disc now. Is there a forward side, white, black? I don't know. I'm going to lean that there. Are we seeing? Lean that there so I can kind of get a look at what I'm doing. Now I'm going to have to take the disc and slip it in between those two brake pads. So I'm going to open them up so that I should be able to slip in between them. And this is going to go that way. And it's lined up. All right. I'm going to do... throw this in here. Still fits really tightly. It's hard to even get it in there. Nope. Must be going in cockeyed because I couldn't get it in there. Holy crap. Gotta line it up just right. And that ain't it. You know what? Let me try that. Was that the whole problem? Yeah. Now I got it on. All right. So this to the front. So I'm going to have to gonna have to put this in. Now which way did I? Alright, it goes that way. So I have to put the disc in between the pads. You know what? They feel like they're tight. Make sure they're good and loose. There we go. And then I'm going to slide that onto the shaft. This does not look pretty. Onto the shaft and try to line up the brake disc so that I can push. Looks like it's lined up, but all right, there we go. Now just to line up that pin, line up the shaft coming out of the transmission and this piece so that where's my flashlight, so that we can reinsert the pin. Come around to this side because this is the side that it goes in, and I'm going to turn the tranny by turning the spur gear while looking through this hole. And right when I see the two holes line up, I'm going to take my 2mm, it is, yep, and insert. Whoa! Okay, I'm fine. I'm like, you got to reinsert the dog bone. It's okay. I can still do it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this pin all the way in. Good and tight. And then, before I start reassembling, I am going to reinstall the dog bone. Now, do I have a replacement for that rear drive cup that looks horrible? Where are my Savage parts? Okay. You know what? I'll stop the video and I'll restart it. How about that? I'm going to go look for a minute, see if I have one of those drive cups. I believe I do. All right. So I found the box of Savage parts. I pulled this out thinking maybe, hopefully, no, nothing there. There's not a whole lot in this box. Some arms and stuff, fuel tank, another radio box. But that thing's been a couple nice shocks on it. It looks like some nice upgrade shocks right there. And this looks like there's a 3-speed trans in here, along with a couple of these red brake discs. Are these just from a later Savage version? Anyway, oh, no drive cups. No drive cups at all. So I started looking. Maybe I could use a Hyper 7 one on there, but no, it uses a shaft with a flat spot, and the grub screw tightens down on the flat spot. The Savage uses a shaft with a hole in it, and the pin goes through the hole. So I'm like, well, it looks like and then I even went through my big box of new old stock parts, thinking I might have some drive cups in there. Could not find any. So I'm like, sadly, I do not have a replacement part. So it's either put that one back on, and as you can see, that does not look good, or order some and wait for them to come and then throw that on, okay? So that was pretty much where I was at. I'm like, both. I'm going to throw this back on just to get to run it a little bit. And I'll order the replacements, come in a 2-pack. And they're actually called cup joints, I believe. 86063 part number, maybe. Anyways, I looked into ordering the parts. And then I was also thinking, when I was digging through boxes looking for the Savage parts, I came across a box full of Warhead parts. This is a Duratrax Warhead, front or rear end, one of those. And I was like, well, you know, the Warhead is a big Savage knockoff. I wonder if I could take the drive cup off of here. All right, off of this, which, again, it's the style with a hole going through it, not the style with a flat spot. Will the drive cup from the Warhead work on the Savage? So that right there is the drive cup off of the Warhead, and it is installed, tightened down. Dog bone fits into it beautifully, as you can see. So we should have a new drive cup on there. So we should be at the point of just putting this thing back together. Our brake is in place. Our dog bone is in place, and our rear drive cup is also in place. So let me clean up a little bit of this mess. Some of these, let me save those. Oh, going through my new old stock parts, I was like, well, there's another brake disc if I need one. Yeah, let me just move this stuff out of the way a little bit here. All right, let me save these screws. Oh, I also found, when going through my new old stock parts, I found that, looky there, Savage X or SS 4.6 spare parts. But I bet a lot of these screws, this is what I need out of here, is some of these screws. So I bet you should be able to find what I need in there. All right, so before I put the plate back on, I believe it was these screws that held the transmission to the motor mount plate. So I'm going to put those back in. Those are coming up through, so those are probably too long. Is there another similar but shorter screw? They look to be all around the same size. Well, I guess that's what we're going to be using for those. So this will lock the transmission and the motor mount plate together. There we go. Wasn't biting before, now we are. Good. All right, so tighten those two. Good. All right. Now our plate. Should I clean it up a little bit? We're just going to get it dirty again. Ain't no point. All right, this is going to go. Start it on that peg in the back and the same peg in the front. Well, this thing is all jacked up. All this the steering come apart. All right, what am I doing wrong here? Am I putting it on upside down? All right, it goes like that. That, I'll know that. Those two are lined up. Look how far off that rear is. Okay, something is not right here. That is that. Am I putting it on inside out? That goes. Is that the outside? Oh, that was the inside. I do have it. Oh man, y'all, I get it figured out eventually, but holy crap, it takes me a minute sometimes. Come on. All right, I'll get it to lock in place. Get our tranny. Tranny is not there we go. Tranny was popped out on the other side. There we go. Let me start a couple into this tranny here to keep it in place. There's one. Let me then try to this thing is not going. Is that dog bone in the rear too long? Is that what's going on? That seems to... Where's my big screw? Is that metal in there? There we go. That screw. Machine thread. We put, oh, of course. Come on, get in there. Can't believe that worked. Alright, tighten this down. So we got a screw in the middle on the trans. Got a screw in the front, and we're going to throw one up here in the rear. And that is going to get it to where I don't have to hold it all together. Alright, tighten this down. So our drive line is repaired. We have brakes. Alright. Our mesh is good. Alright. So at this point, we just need to fill in all of these screws. And remember, that's something I have messed up on plenty of times, is I'll start putting in the ones where the handle goes without the handle in place, and I'll have to remove them. Oh, this was the one with the washers on it. I'm just going to leave those washers in place just in case they were there for a reason. And I'm going to tighten that down. These are my two big motor mount screws. I always get screw when I'm talking fast doing this. I always get screw and bolt mixed up. Alright, we're going to I need to take off one of these front shocks, just like we took off one of the rears, so we can get to this. Let me see, is there one of those? Yep, there is one. And right there is the screw that I want to put right there. Machine head, because it's going into metal. Oh yeah, this thing's going to be a lot more secure than it was. Is that going to be, that's where our pipe hanger goes, so no screw goes there. Missing a couple. Those both should be metal thread. Let's check this one. It's a 2.5 or a 3. That's a 3. That go right there beautifully. Oh, is it going to need some washers? No, it is not. Or is it? It's kind of hard to tell if it's tight. Alright, and then that is another machine thread I need for that one right there. And I think I am all out of machine thread. Was that one not in there? Alright, so let me take a quick peek in here and see what I can find. And this feels just right. Screw it all the way in. Oh, come on now. Okay, it's plastic down there, so that could have been a regular screw. All right. Any of these? No. All right, so I think we got everything. All the screws that need to be on this side in particular. Now we just need to put on the handle and its screws. That one's going into the transmission. And this bottom one goes into the transmission as well. Is that a screw hole there? I think it was supposed to be. Probably. I don't think there was anything in it. But now there is. Stripped out. Do we still got one more right there? Yeah, we do. Handle. And handle screw. All right. Now to the other side. Did I not do it behind? Learn from my mistakes. This needed to go. Yeah, this needs to be on the outside. So the easiest way to fix that is grab my 1.5 millimeter, come in here, undo that, pull this brake lever out, slide that up, and I'm going to go ahead and attach my handle here first. Give it one up top, good and tight, and go ahead and bust open those screws out of here. And there's a couple more of them. Throw one in there. Alright, so our handle is attached well. So now I'm going to put this back where it was and tighten it back down. Alright, finish filling in the screws on this side. That one goes there. This one goes here. Looks like we're missing one down there. Is that machine thread? Or not? Nope. That's bottom transmission. All right. Oh, there's nothing. There's nothing behind that one. All right. So that. All right. We got all the screws on this side. Is that? If it'll bite, yeah, no, there's nothing there. All right, we got our handle. We got all of these screws holding the twin vertical plates back on. Let's go ahead and reinstall our shocks. one in the rear, and one in the front. There we go. So now, need to throw the wheels back on real quick. No big deal there. Wheel back on. Wheel nut back on. Righty-tighty on this side. And rear. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and hang that pipe. We're going to yak this pipe hanger mount thingy off of here. It's got a little bit of crud. Is that it? No, it's this one. It's got crud in it too. Get that crud out of there. We'll take our 2.5 millimeter. Now, where we're going to be putting this thing, it's not set up for this countersunk hex nut screw. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that out of there. So there's my pipe hanger that I'm going to use on the Savage. I'm going to mount it right there. And so all I need to do is find me a machine head screw, a button head machined screw to hold this in place. And looks like that will do it. All right. So move that back there. And we're going to try to feed this through so it comes out and catches that. Wonder how hard this is going to be. Is that... how did I get to that? Where was the... that was where the original pipe hanger was, right? Oh, no, right there. The original pipe hanger was right there. So that's where I'm going to put this one. If it's big enough. No, it ain't. Darn. All right, so I'm going to drill it out because I really want to use this. And the hole that I need to use is not big enough. So I am going to drill it out. Drill bits. Give me 1 second. They're right here. I try to keep everything I need somewhat handy. I'll find me a suitable drill bit. If it's not in there, then it is in here. All right. What I need that. Well, that looks beautiful. Okay, so got me a drill bit here. Chuck it. Not like that. All right. Go forward, and we're just gonna drill this out. Open it up a touch. All right. So now our screw to hold our pipe hanger in place should be able to come right through there. Well, it's still a bit tight. All right, let's try that. I think that'll do it. Let me try it on the outside. No, still a bit tight. Let's try this. Come on now. What in the heck? Let me, this is taking forever, but this is working on RC cars. My ladies and gentlemen, my community, this is working on RC cars. I could edit all this stuff down for you. But no, this is what you go through when you're working on these old nitro vehicles. You work with what you got, use the tools that you got, and you do your best. I needed that angle right there where the tire was. And now we are good. Still a touch tight. There we go. All right. So now let's bring this up and into there. Take our pipe hanger, screw it right onto there. Now I'm not going to lock this in place until I find out what exactly I need to hang my pipe. I'm going to go ahead and leave that tire off. We don't have to have it on there right this second. All right, so I'm going to throw this pipe on approximately where I want it. Go ahead and throw a zip tie to hold it in place. And give that a tighten. Make sure we're gripping the pipe well. You want this zip tie to be in the groove on the pipe so that it's held in place very well. All right, so we basically need a hanger to come from down here up to there. That is going to be just a hair too short. So, where is my... I should have a length of rod to use, and all of a sudden that's gone. Give me it's not up here. All right, give me I will find me a piece of my pipe hanger rod, and I will be right. All right, we are back with a piece of my pipe hanging rod. I've said before where I get this is from paint rollers. There are like 6 or 8 of these that go along the length of the roller, and that's what holds the roller onto the handle. So I use this because it is the exact correct length, size. It's big enough. It's not too big, but it fills the holes specifically, exactly, just right on all of these pipe hanging mechanisms. All right, so I'm basically going to have it come up from the mount and then bend out to connect to the pipe. So I want that to be, I want a little bit sticking out, but not much. So I'm going to put that right around there. So then that to be held even, it'll be approximately right there. So I need to bend this approximately right there. So I'm going to lock that and bend it straight out. Now I'll stick that through there, and this end has a little bend on it, so it's going to be tough to go through there unless I bend it back. Let me bend that back. It should be about straight. All right, through here, and as you can see, what are we, 2 millimeter on this? Tighten that up right there, and we'll come underneath. Where is that screwdriver? We'll tighten up our pipe mount, which is down through there. Nice and tight. And then a final tighten on that. And nice and straight. All right, so that is our mounted pipe with a OFNA Hyper 7 pipe hanger coming up to a custom pipe hanger. And looks pretty good. It's good and solid. That's definitely not going nowhere. All right, so we got our side pipe mounted. That's kind of coming down already anyways, but you think it's going to spit on the back there? Might run a deflector off of that, although this is really just a huge deflector itself. What do we got left to do? Let's throw this tire on here. Are we ready to run? I think we may be ready to run. Our drive line is fixed. Our pipe is mounted. I think this thing may be ready to... okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and check and make sure our electronics are good. Grab our Fly Sky radio. And like I said, there was 2 different Savage models on here. So let me try this one. I just had that battery. I was looking all over for drive cups. Where did I set that battery? I had the battery that we were testing out. All right, well, my battery, thought I had, there it is, there's a battery, I got the battery. All right, let's go ahead and connect. Where am I coming into this? Let me plug it into this and see if this works. Is there a switch somewhere? Oh, the switch is on the bottom. That's weird. Oh, I think that may be it. Let's check our steering. Well, that HPI SF2, that ain't a bad servo. At least with the tires up in the air, it looks pretty good. All right, so we got our, let's check our, okay, now that our brake disc is installed, let's see if the brakes need adjusted. It's gripping them. I think we're going to need to tighten them up a little bit. Let me go ahead and tighten that down. I was tightening that, wasn't I? Is it at the end of its tightenability? Oh, maybe so. Yeah, going to need to, how do you adjust that brake when it's at the end of its adjustability is you need to unscrew it and put on a longer piece of fuel tubing. So let me go ahead and do that. Unscrew this thing all the way off, which is going to take forever. And once we have it all the way off, we will put on, let me go ahead and turn this off. It didn't need to be on for all this. Well, that switch underneath is weird on the original Savage. Is that where they put it, or did somebody install that down there? Yeah, no, I think it's supposed to be where whoever, I didn't do that. I stuck that piece of fuel tubing and antenna tube there to get the antenna out, but I didn't put that wooden box in there. It's kind of weird, but the switch is supposed to be right there, right? All right. Finish taking this thing all the way off. Now this is where it would be all right if I skipped forward a little bit, huh? All right, so we need a piece of fuel tubing longer than that. You know, I want to use my purple. I thought I just saw a piece of it in here, so let me look. Where's my roll? All right, let me chill for a second. I know it's around here somewhere. I'll just grab my tub of used. There we go. There's my purple. I like this fuel tubing. I think I'm going to make a video on this. I bought actually a couple 50-foot rolls of this fuel tubing. It's a bit larger than your standard, as you can see there. But I've ran it on a lot of stuff, and it works great. I really like it. All right, so I'm going to snip me a nice straight piece of that, which is longer than the piece of fuel tubing that was in there by a considerable amount. Maybe not that long. Let's go ahead and trim it a bit, maybe about like that. All right, so I'm then going to put that piece on the brake, and I'm going to re-thread this adjuster all the way, not all the way. Oh, it does have screws on the end, so at least up until the wire comes out, you can screw it on. All right, so now that we have a longer piece of fuel tubing in here, now let's check the brakes. Are we coming out yet? Not yet. All right, let's check the brakes now. There's our friggin' switch. Yeah, come on. All right. Could be a little tighter. There we go. There we go. Now we got some good brakes. All right. We have properly adjusted brakes. How is our throttle? It's not right. When I push the brakes, the throttle is closing. It's set open a bit. So I need to sub-trim this. All right, are we seeing what I'm doing? I need to sub-trim this. Oops. All right. Trim. Channel. Two, I believe. Forward. That ain't. All right. End. All right, to get me over there, let me see if this. Yes, perfect. I need to go up to about there. All right, so now when I hit brake, the throttle doesn't close. It is held fully closed at no throttle input. Looks like I'm getting full. It ain't pulling it out all the way to where it's mechanical limit. No. So this is about a perfect setup. The throttle is fully closing on its own. And then when I pull the throttle, it opens up the carburetor all the way. And we got good brakes. So our throttle and brake linkage are now set up properly. I can turn off the buggy. I can turn off our transmitter. All right. So charge this battery up, throw it in here, throw the lid on, and this thing is ready for a road test. Thank you very, very much for watching. Did I have that facing around forward? No. Well, let me see. It's not hitting the spur gear. Maybe if on a jump it would. All right, that's good. And it's a little close to the pipe now. Let me put it back up there. All right, that's a good spot for the air filter. All right, our mesh is good. We have a Duratrax Warhead rear cup joint in there installed. We have a pipe, a new pipe, and a new pipe mount installed nice and solidly. This thing is ready for a road test. Now, should I go ahead and put this on now? This is a wheelie bar for Savage. And I tell you what, with the LRP in here, I believe this thing is going to need it. But I tell you what, maybe we'll hold that off till the next time. I know this video has been long enough. This has been a long video. But we finished and it is ready to run. We'll see you then. Have a great day.